Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad to here on a Monday morning, July 8th. We're glad you've got a great show lined up. Got a special guest, a very special guest, and we'll talk about him later, but we're going to get our weather first, brought to us by Haney Technical Center right there at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. We got so much going on. Hope everybody had a great 4th of July weekend and all. I know a lot of folks did a lot of outdoor activities. So we'll be sharing some of those pictures later on during the week and all. But let's go ahead and look at our weather. High today, 89, low 79, and water temperature staying around 88 degrees. Well, I'll do our Monday moon forecast brought to us by Mountain Dew. Take it outside with Mountain Dew. And we're looking at a waxing moon. Remember, our full moon is going to be next Wednesday night. So we're back up here at a full quarter, and we're just moving on. It's going to be some good today. Like I say, we're just starting to see some visibility. And next Wednesday, actually next Tuesday night, we're going to have that full moon. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. We're looking back on last week's tides were awesome. Today's tide is going to be pretty decent. We're going to high tide 1:58 p.m. right after lunch. Right around 2 o'clock will be the high tide. So it's coming in all morning. It's going to start going out. It'll be low at 10:43 tonight. Then start coming on in a little bit after midnight. And we're looking at our marine forecast. It'll be south-southwest at about 5 to 10. I'll take a break. Come back with our guest. Welcome back, and look who's here, a special guest. Hey, buddy.
What happens when you leave the door open? Somebody sneak in on you.
We've already done a show ahead of the show. We've been talking. I told Jeff, come on here, just turn the camera on. We just keep talking.
We should have, yeah.
We've been talking about all kinds of stuff. I was looking for some pictures of some fish and all, but what's going on?
It's just like everybody else is still dealing with the effects of the hurricane. And
well, let's go get it clarified. Bill and Donna are still not back in their home yet. Like
no.
So many of our guests, and I keep bringing it up and all, but it's a fact of life.
Yeah, I mean, we're better off than a lot of people and worse than some of the others. Mm-hmm. But next Monday, we are supposed to get a roof on the house. So
that's a
we
big
get
deal.
The old roof torn off, get a roof put on it, get power back to it. Mm-hmm. Obviously to take care of the house, but then I can get the power that I need to my boats and battery chargers and humidifiers and those kind of things. So,
yep.
Priorities.
We got tickled at before the show, and we got the same problem. And I don't know what the cure for it is. We just have too much outdoor stuff to do, and we try to juggle it around and try to get all the outdoor stuff done. We were talking about leases and talking about the hunting season already. Then we started talking about scallop season. Y'all going down scalloping pretty soon.
Yeah, our Panhandle trip's on the 14th.
On the 14th, okay. So y'all be going down there next week, and that'll be fun. Who's always going?
That's the same group. It's Greg Brudnick and his wife, and then Billy Perry and Carl Andrews. So we've got, it's a good group. We have a great time down there. Eat way too much, but.
Each year I say Gail and I are going to come down, but somebody's got to come down and chaperone y'all, so I may have to.
Well, we probably do need some adult supervision, but you won't starve down there. Because we kind of they separate the nights, the girls do, yeah. So we cook our specialties, so to speak. But Greg Brudnick, he does that homemade lasagna,
yeah.
And it's like 2 pans of that's like 20 pounds. It's unbelievable. So, yeah. I do a low country boil. And,
well, do y'all scallop every day, or just off and on?
Yes.
You do every day?
Like last year, it rained and seriously stormed every day, and it made it very difficult. We hardly got out at all. But you would think it would be the guys driving that, driving force to be scalloping. Those 4 women,
They enjoy it, don't they?
they are ready to go.
I know Darylyn is
They want to go.
She's a queen sucker, and all those ladies. Donna loves it.
Well, you've seen those pictures. We come back and just dump them out there on the dock, and everybody sits there. And you know, when you got that many people cleaning, who know how, it doesn't take long to do it all. But no, they're the driving force on the scallops. Where they are going to get a limit every day, and regardless of how many trips it takes.
Yep. And also, let's jump. We're just going to bounce back and forth just talking. Before the show started, we were talking about upcoming hunting season, about the pros and cons of getting on a lease or having your own little piece of property.
Yeah.
And I know right now you're looking thinking about getting on a lease.
Yeah. Dalton and I we own several acres up in Caryville, and I say so 40 acres, and I killed some deer off of it in archery season or crossbow season because my shoulder won't handle a bow anymore. But it was kind of too small for us to, to camp on and hunt on and those kind of things. So we've sold it, but the lease we're looking at getting on, it especially works well for me. They do everything. It's 1,600 acres, and the stands, the food plots, the feeders are all maintained by the group, and it's I've got 2 really good friends that are on there, and they've got 2 openings this year. So, if you don't have the time and the tractor, and it takes, it's like everything else. You have to put a lot of time and effort into it, and so I think that's going to be the better situation for us over the next year or 2. We'll see how it goes.
The vast majority of the hunters I know are on some kind of lease. Or some kind of hunting club or something, and they're all pleased with. I mean, they change around and all, but the idea of them doing the food plots, and you're gonna harvest a deer every year. You're gonna get one every year.
Yeah. They've got. I think the rule up there is 2 does and 2 bucks, 8-pointer better. Yeah. And that property's managed, they do a good job. And like I said, we know a couple of people real well, and that always helps to know somebody when you're getting into work.
It's such good camaraderie that a lot of people leave work on Friday afternoon and can't wait to get up there around a campsite that Friday night.
Yeah, it's close.
Saturday, and then Saturday night, everybody be cooking something, and it's just a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
I've threatened I'm going to do it this year. I know Ben Steele and a lot of those folks, they invite me to come up on Saturday nights. I'm going to start going to these hunting camps every Saturday night. Just give me something to eat and visit with them and hear their stories.
Hell yeah, the stories especially.
Yeah, about the big one that got away. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Me and my sidekick, Bill Allen. We've been buddies a long time, and Bill's background in outdoors is just amazing. He done so many fun things and all, and which leads us into fishing for the summer, the rest of the summer. Summer's halfway over. Can you believe it?
I can believe it by how hot it is, yeah.
Oh, man. So we're looking at the second half of fishing here in the Florida Panhandle.
Yeah.
What we can target and what we want to stay away from. We want to stay away from the heat in the middle of the day. We know that.
Yeah.
But,
it's dangerous. It's dangerous hot, and you got to really, it's kind of like back when we were playing ball. But you need to hydrate real well before you go. And beer is not hydration.
No.
So water. Or some Gatorade type of product or something like that, but not just taking it with you, but before you go.
That's right.
You need to be well hydrated before you get out there. But yeah, I mean, we're fortunate enough to live here and pick the times that we fish, and of course the before and after of the high and low tides. Like I said, go early and late. Early and late.
And I think we're going to, redfish, all the pictures I've shown, it's been a good summer on redfish around West Bay,
Tremendous.
East Bay.
Everywhere.
All your buddies catching them?
Everywhere, yeah. There's a lot of redfish. There's been a lot of good-sized trout caught.
Yeah.
I mean, some serious trout caught. And, it's just, it's summertime, you have to change a little bit. You know, like I said, early and late when you got the right kind of tides when they're up in the shallows. But then, you know, fish get hot too. They're going to back off. You know, you're going to have to fish a little bit, and that's where those suspending plugs. You know, you can switch to stuff like that to work deeper water columns or down in the water columns. I really love those suspending plugs.
We get so many viewers who try to learn things from all of us fishing and all, and because I get comments on, and you saw the email from the guy in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and all. They love to learn this stuff, and the suspended bait has a special spot during fishing because the fish are it's not too low, it's not too high, it's just right there in front of them.
It allows you to almost top water fish just below the surface.
Right
you work it the same way. And it's you know, it's great. Miradine, you know, makes great products, but those Paul Browns, the soft baits, now while they're not suspending, they're the same profile. You know, they're a lighter bait that's easier to keep off the bottom and work that a lot. You know, Greg, he's gone to that.
Has Greg had much time to fish lately?
Greg has no time to do anything, but we do squeeze in some fishing again just to, you know, to try to keep our sanity. But you know, he's still working more than full time on hurricane relief. You know, I mean, it's an ongoing effort, working with FEMA and making trips to Tallahassee, but you know, trying to not only put us back, but better than we were before. You know, and they've got some tremendous long-range plans going on, and there is a schedule of meetings, and I'm not sure what it is, but if you contact City Hall, you know, they are looking for input, and they have public meetings regarding this. And General McQueen, you know, Mark, what a blessing it is to have him as the city manager. So, with his experience of building towns back, you know, it's just it's work. It's I've never seen anybody work that much as those two right now.
Well, throughout the Panhandle, we've talked about this. All of our little communities, we're all going to be built. We're going to build back, and it's going to be better. The Mexico beaches, the Callaways, the Springfields, Mariana, the Alpha, all of them.
And I mean, you know, there are a lot of buildings, let's put it this way, in the city that probably should not have been standing in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of those are gone now, and so some of that's coming down, and you know, not a blessing by any means, but a lot of that stuff needed to come down.
Well, yeah, a lot of the older things and a lot of our older houses, which really, I hate to see them, but some of those weren't built strong. I mean, those first ones to go away. So,
well, man, I'll tell you, my office was destroyed, and that house was built in 1938 down on Jinx Avenue.
Yeah.
And Donna looked the history of it up. There was a guy that was one of the old captains here, and you know, it was just beautiful. It'd been updated, remodeled, but it still had all the tongue and groove on the inside. They kept the old look, and it was just that big porch across the front. I mean, you've been there several times. It wasn't going to stand up to that much wind. It's sitting on a corner like that. It just destroyed it.
And you know, a lot of the houses back inland, though, I had a friend, Tom Buttram, who has a home in Port St. Joe, was built about the same time. Yeah. And his house survived. It sort of floated off, but they were sitting back on there. But one of the big things, you know, those houses didn't have the drywall, the sheetrock on there.
Right.
So the walls were wood, so they were able to clean the walls and not have to worry about putting out sheetrock.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
And y'all would have been the same way.
If had mine still been standing, I would have done anything to save it. But you know, eventually I had to have it torn down. But you know, that's part of it.
Well, moving on to fishing, let's talk about freshwater. You know, fly fishing this time of the year. I know you love fly fishing.
Yes.
So lately, that bugs are hatching full time in the summertime. You know. Yeah. So you see a lot of flies, a lot of the willow trees. This spring, I didn't hear a lot about the willow fly hatch. Did you hear much about it?
No, I did not. And I think part of the problem was, you know, we had crazy weather. You know,
we did,
we kind of skipped a season in there somehow, and I think that might have messed them up. But and some of the people, you know, like a lot of things, some of the guys that I usually talk to that are, down there when the first hatch comes off, waiting on it. Just not been able to fish, not been able to get down there.
I don't. Yeah, you got a point there about the pattern got messed up, because if you remember, the storm blew off all the leaves, and then some of the leaves started growing back before Christmas. So it messed up the cycle. I'm not an entomologist. I don't know anybody entomologist. I bet if they looked at it though, those bugs got the little season mixed up, because it's booming right now as far as hatching. There's a lot of stuff hatching on the river. From first-hand reports. So that's been interesting.
Yeah, so grab some weewall bugs. And
we'll talk about that. Let's take our final break. We'll come back and talk about it. All right, welcome back. Here with Bill Allen. We're talking about fly fishing and all the fun we want to do. Let's get our fishing time today. Brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers, 5:57 a.m. to 7:57, and this evening 6:22 to 8:22.
Perfect.
And listen, we're talking about you do a fall trip and a spring trip up there to the mountains every year. But last year, this past fall, your trip was planned for October the 11th, right?
Yeah, we were leaving October the 11th, which didn't happen. And then, of course, the spring trip is usually in April or May, and it was so much chaos that, we couldn't go then. That's in the last 15 years, that's the only 2 trips I've missed. And
you missed them back to back. That was
not
tough.
right. Yeah, no, it's real bad.
So you're looking forward to this fall.
Looking very forward to this fall.
Sometimes in October.
Yeah.
So we're going to see if we can squeeze.
Probably the first middle part of October.
Yeah.
You're, of course, always invited to come up there.
It's a fun trip, man.
It's a lot of work. It's more work than you think it is.
Here's my problem this fall, and I have a granddaughter playing volleyball here at Mosley. I have a granddaughter playing volleyball at Grace Christian Academy in Franklin, Tennessee, and a grandson playing football.
I know you're wearing it out.
So that fall, man, you know how we love fall.
You work more now than when you were retired.
Oh, goodness yes. I got it.
Before you retired.
That's true now. All right, let's talk about, while we're on fly fishing, let's talk about fly fishing here, late summer fly fishing, because there's so many, look at all the bugs out. David Bird, I'm trying to find his picture. He sent me a picture of some fish they caught the other day on the Big River, fly fishing. Mm-hmm. So while I look for the picture, tell me some things. Let's give my viewers some points.
For those of you that haven't tried it, I know a lot of you guys do, it's not a hard thing to get started with. It's, I like to use a 3 or 4 weight rod, 7.5 to 9 feet, something like that, with a floating fly line that you match to it. When you buy the rod, you buy the line the same size, same weight as your rod. But now the lines all come with molded loops on the end of them. So these are brim are not like trying to fool a trout where you have to do a lot of different things, but you can take 6-7 feet of 7X or something like that. Doesn't have to be tapered, and then those weewall bugs in all kinds of colors are great ones to have. You got your picture?
I do.
And but I'll tell you a little secret to doing that to keep them floating on top is we just go like to the store and buy some of that tent sealant, like that silicone, you're supposed to put on the seams of your
tent.
Of your tent.
Yeah.
But you take that with you, take that fly and spray it down, and that fly will sit on top for several casts, or after you do it. But you don't want it to, you want it sitting on top.
Right.
And all those little rubber legs, most of them are too big. They get tangled up. Trim those by half.
Yeah.
And modify it a little bit, and that just like that cheap thing of tent spray.
Yeah.
And waterproof, and it keeps it on top. But it's a blast. It's an absolute blast.
That's a good idea. Here's a picture that I got from David Bird. That's a nice mess, isn't it?
Yeah, that's real fine mess.
That's some nice fish from the Big River. Okay, from the Big River. And so one thing, what color do y'all like this time of year?
That's that yellow.
That's where the sunlight is.
Chartreuse kind of color that, and like I said, I use those weewall bugs a lot, but those betts popping bugs, we
Yeah.
used for years and years and years. The yellow with the black stripes on them. But you just got to, and the Weewalt bug, they make a combination between like an off-white and chartreuse wings or legs kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
you know, but if they're going, it don't matter.
Speaking of the river, we got to get with Bill Shields and get. Is the houseboat still available, or is it
The houseboat
still
is
floating?
good.
We got to get our catfishing trip coming in.
Bill, however, is going to be on the disabled list for a few more weeks.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, he had both his knees replaced at the same time.
Wow.
And he had arthritis real bad in both knees, and so he's rehabbing for 6 weeks. But
Well, it's too hot to go now, so we'll
he's
wait
doing well.
About
but,
6 weeks, that'll be welcome back to the world.
yeah, exactly. We'll have to drag him out there to the boat, throw him in there. But no, yeah, it's something else that we hadn't even been there.
Yeah.
You know, everything.
There hadn't been a lot of catfishing done. I've been checking around. There hadn't been a whole lot of trout lines set out.
You know how much I love running those bush hooks.
Yeah, and with so many people been
catching
busy.
those little things. So.
I know it's great. So maybe late summer, about late August, early September, maybe we'll get back down there.
Yeah, I mean anytime. But yeah, I think right now we're all really hoping for a good late summer and fall.
I want to try this. I want to set up one line with some fish bites for our bait.
I don't know why not. They hit everything else.
Yeah, and I mentioned this the other day. They're catching redfish and carabel off fish bites now.
Yeah.
We have breaking news that it's only a matter of time before they start doing it.
Well, you know, there are a lot of guys right now who are, you know, you can buy those fish bites in the strips already cut up. And instead of putting another kind of tail on like a gold spoon, you know, you slip that on there. Now instead of trying to spray to get scent on it, you've got the scent there. And a little bit of extra color. So, you know, anything that swims like that, an old bucktail jig, I still love those.
That's right.
And the right application for redfish is bucktail jigs are just hard to beat. But, you know, you slip a fish bite over the end, and now you're putting some scent out there. And
we got to go.
It's a good trick.
We've run out of time. We've caught 2 or 3 fish.
As usual.
All right, buddy. All right, thank y'all for watching Panhandle Outdoors. We always appreciate the viewership. Do something good for your fellow man, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.